Hello guys, this is KixPicks, and I thought of making a short video. First, I want to congrat Luck Fumbler for his 100 subscribers. And in his video, he have a really great idea, and for his giveaway, just to talk about something that helped you out when you were a beginner, when you start beginning luck picks. Advice that you took from someone, a hint that helped you develop your skills. So I'd like to talk about advice that I took and it helped me, and also I'd like to give my own advice. So the advice that helped me actually when I was picking one of the difficult locks. It's not here because I didn't take it with me. It's here. It's this Asa lock. It have barrels inside and also active side pins. So I was facing a lot of trouble with this lock, and people start to on Facebook give me advices about I should gut the lock and do progressive pinning. At this time, of course, I knew how to gut a lock, but I never had the idea of just picking a lock with, if this have 6 pins, just start picking it with 2 pins only, then start progression and start progressively adding more pins until I understand how all pins bind and how they work, and this helped me a lot. So I still give this advice to all new pickers. They're facing a trouble. Just a friend of mine just had problems with the American lock, and I told him this advice: just cut the lock, put 2 pins, start picking it, then move on from that point. And it actually worked for him, and he sent me pictures when he picked the lock. So this is my advice that I took from people, and I'm sharing it with you. And my own advice, it's not really an advice, but it's a general idea, but not a lot of people focus on it. Usually when people start with a new lock, their main goal is to pick the lock, just to try to pick it and get it open. And they keep trying, and they have failures, and they leave it and come back. My advice is, don't treat all locks the same. Not all locks have the same built-in. The pins are not all the same. The tolerance is different, and everything is different in the lock. So my advice when you deal with the lock, the new lock especially, you don't try to pick it open. Usually when I have a new lock, I try to understand the lock. Even if it takes me a week, I don't try to open it, I just try to understand it. Understand it meaning, of course, if you have a key, it's much easier to understand the binding. But when I talk about understanding the lock, it's just try to understand it. Just try to feel it. I know it sounds weird, but yes, don't try to pick it. Try to feel the lock. Try to see how the space, how you're gonna tension it. There's tensioning. For me, is like 60% of picking. Like people say, music and movies in Hollywood, it's like 40 or 50% of what you get, because when you watch a movie with the sound effects, with the music, it puts you in the mood. So tensioning is very important. Sometimes you could be tensioning wrong or using the wrong tool. It's very important to see how you're going to tension the lock, and you try different tensioners, and don't try to open it. Just see how you're going to tension it, how the pick will go inside. You have space or not. Try to understand how the pins react. You need to push hard, just have a small push, how the springs work, how the binding work. Try to feel the lock, try to understand it, see how it's work. Get your muscles and your subconscious and your brain familiar with the lock itself. Just when you understand the lock and you see the right tools and you see, yes, this fits this lock perfectly. Yes, this is how I'm gonna tension it. Now I understand how I feel it, how I'm pushing, how the feedback is coming from this lock. Just like that, the lock will open. And the best thing about this, it will not just gonna open once. You'll be able to open the lock every time you have the tools and you remember your conclusion for this. So this is my advice. Know the lock, feel the lock, understand the lock, and in the simple words, try to understand it. Don't put your intention and don't put your goal, just you want to open the lock. My advice is take your time, try to understand the lock, feel the lock, and it's going to open every time. Because it will be inside your, as I call it, like there's a hand memory, there's a muscle memory, your brain works wonderful. So you don't understand how it works, but it's very powerful. So when you train yourself, try to understand it, it will work every time. This is what makes advanced pickers and people who you see on camera or even in real life and competitions, they open the lock very fast because they train their brain to understand huge variety of different locks. So when they are in competition, they're familiar with each and every lock and they remember how to pick it, how to tension it, because not all locks are the same. European locks are different from American locks, different from Euro cylinders, different from I don't know what you guys call this in the States, an oval lock, like ASA, but actually this is European, actually, I think. But ASA is a different story. It's totally a different story. But yeah, everything is different. And depending on your technique, some people keep pushing the pins like this. Some people go directly on the pin. And they just push it once and they set it. Some people, they have to push and keep doing like this. Everyone have different techniques. So understand the lock, see how you're gonna deal with the lock. And this is my advice to you. And thank you guys for watching. And congrats, Lock Fumbler, for 100 subscribers. Good luck, guys, and see you guys around.